Everybody wants to lose weight, but here are 3 things that no one tells you about fat loss. Number 1, not all fat is created equal. Some fat cells have more alpha receptors than they do beta receptors. But what is the difference? The best way to think about it is alpha receptors are known for awful and beta receptors are benevolent. So basically, where can you see higher concentrations of alpha receptors in your fat cells? That's generally around the torso. The alpha receptor's job is to tell your body to not burn this fat and instead use it for storage. The main purpose of this in the torso area is to protect your vital organs. So for males specifically, it's more in the central torso as well as the love handles. And for women, it's the general torso, but specifically in the lower abdomen. And this is to protect the womb, regardless if there's a baby or not. And so this is your body's way of just trying to keep you alive. And that is specifically the area where everyone wants to lose that fat. So you can't target this fat loss. It's been scientifically proven fat loss cannot be targeted. You can do as many crunches as you want, as many planks as you want to do, but that's not going to target the fat on your torso. The only way to go about this is to exhaust your body's resources. Burn fat in all other areas of the body so that it's required to burn fat from the torso area. That's the only way to go about it, and unfortunately, there are no shortcuts. Number 2, weight loss does not equal fat loss. Losing weight is so much easier than it is to lose fat. If you want to lose weight, just go into a calorie deficit diet and just do high intensity cardio. What this is going to do is basically shrink your body. You're going to lose the fat, but you're also going to lose muscle. And most people don't want to just become a smaller version of themselves. They want to get that six-pack. They want to see those muscles. They want to become toned and defined. The best way to go about this, to target fat loss, not just specific parts on the body, but to target fat loss in general, is to do a cardio, strength training, as well as a high protein intake. It's generally recommended that you take in 0.8 grams of protein per every pound that you weigh. If you're already taking in 0.8 grams of protein for every pound that you weigh and you're still not seeing the results you want to see, I then recommend upping that protein intake to 1.1 grams of protein per pound. So let's say you weigh 100 pounds. Well, then your general protein intake should be 80 grams. But if you weigh 100 pounds and you want to take in 1.1 grams, what you're going to do is take in 110 grams of protein per day. Some general sources of protein that are highly recommended in the gym community and general fitness community would be chicken, red meat, chickpeas, and protein powder. There are a lot of recipes out there where you can use these in different conjunctions. And in general, I think it's great to keep a little package of beef jerky with you wherever you go. That way, if you notice that you need a little spike in your protein intake, you just have the beef jerky right there. And that's generally lower in calories but high in protein count. And finally, number 3, weight loss is not linear. I wish it was. I wish it was just a constant decrease, but that's just not true. In the beginning, when you're losing weight and those numbers on the scale are dropping rapidly, you're going to see a steep decline. What this is water weight. And so eventually when all that water weight is gone, you're going to hit more of a plateau where your weight will fluctuate. And if you weigh yourself every day, this is what you're seeing. But that fluctuation can be due to a variety of factors. Depends on when you're weighing yourself, if you've used the restroom, and if you've eaten anything before you weighed yourself. And if you did, how much did you eat? The best way to reduce this fluctuation when weighing yourself is to weigh yourself in the morning after using the restroom, but before eating anything. That way your body is completely empty and you're ready to weigh just yourself. For those people who are out there getting frustrated when they hit this plateau and they see these fluctuations, my recommendation is to weigh yourself once a week, either on a Sunday, Monday, whatever day of the week, after using the restroom, but before eating, and comparing this weekly weight. If you do want to see more on a microscopic level where you're improving and if you need more help, then you could weigh yourself every day, following the same procedure, but then taking the weekly average and comparing those averages across the month. That way you have a more general idea in which way your trend is going. If it's still going down, you're doing well, keep at it. But if you've hit more of a plateau, you're not going anywhere, or the weight is going back up, my recommendation would be to relook at what you're doing. At what level is your physical activity? Do you need to up that, or are you already maxing out your efforts? If your physical activity isn't what you need to alter, then look at your diet. If you're just doing 0.8 grams per pound of protein, you could up this to 1.1 grams of protein per pound. It was actually shown in a study when they were looking at women that there were 2 different groups. The first group took in 1.1 grams of protein per pound, and the other group did 0.4. I believe it was 0.4 or 0.5. And it was seen that the women who were already physically active, both of these women were at the same level, the women who took in 1.1 grams saw more fat loss and muscle gain. So they saw a lot of changes over the course of a month or two. Whereas the other group, who was only taking 0.4 or 0.5 grams of protein per pound, saw small increase in their muscle gain and smaller decrease in fat loss. The general trend with protein then is the more intake you have, the more improvement you'll see. So just keep in mind when you're looking at your weight trends, if you've hit that plateau and your body weight is fluctuating, don't think that you aren't losing weight anymore. You've basically reached a fork in the road where you're trying to convince your body to ignore those alpha receptors and burn that fat. That's where the hard work begins. Anyone can drop that beginning weight and it's easy to gain it back. That's just water weight. But the real journey begins when you've hit that plateau and you have to work even harder to get where you want to be. Those are my 3 main tips when it comes to fat loss, but it's also important to keep in mind that in anything you do in life, it takes time and consistency. As long as you keep going to the gym and keep eating right, you'll see the progress. Those people you see at the gym who are benching 225 pounds and they have this 8-pack, they didn't just suddenly show up like that one day. They've been working at it for a very long time and they take pride in what they do. It takes consistency and effort and time. Time is the biggest factor in all of this. If you found this video helpful and you want to see more content like this, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell icon for future upload notifications.